Hey, good morning, friends. It is a Sunday morning. I have rather a somber tone, I think. This is an invitation to anybody and everybody, specifically my fellow Americans. We are sincerely at a point where Americans, each of us, needs to decide for ourselves whether we are committed to the Constitution or whether we are happy to see the Constitution trampled on and the dissolution of our democratic republic. It is that serious. I am smart, I am educated, I am well-read, I am passionate, and I'm interested in upholding the rights that are protected for all citizens through the U.S. Constitution. And I've been studying that. I've been studying the Constitution, Supreme Court cases, and the Federalist Papers that were written between 1787 and 1788 to argue in support of ratifying or adopting the United States Constitution that was recently authored as a replacement for the Articles of Confederation that were initially put together during the Revolutionary War. Now, here's what you need to understand about those Federalists who are arguing in support of the U.S. Constitution. Their biggest fear was tyranny. Their biggest fear was consolidation of power in government. They worked so hard to create checks and balances at every single level. They designed both state constitutions and the federal constitution. So there's both state government and federal government to have layers of power. They wanted chambers of Congress, two chambers. They wanted the House of Representatives and they wanted a Senate, so that you have two bicameral, two chambers, right? So one wouldn't usurp the other, state, federal, House, Senate. They saw three co-equal branches of government: the legislature, the executive branch that holds the office of the president, and the judiciary, or the judicial branch. Each of those three branches have co-equal power. They write in the Federalist Papers that constitutionally they needed to construct a defense for each of those co-equal branches of government that would repel any encroachment from another branch. Article 1 of the United States Constitution establishes the legislature. The legislature is how we get laws. The legislative branch is who governs the country. The legislature is where everything happens. The legislature creates the agencies and departments of government. The legislature creates the laws for government. The executive branch, the president's job is to faithfully enact the laws of Congress. The president is not designed to make laws. The president is not supposed to govern. The president is supposed to ensure faithful enactment of the laws from the legislature. The legislature is designed to control budget and appropriations. The president is not supposed to have the power to fund, to defund, to spend dollars in a different way, to not spend the money that has been budgeted and appropriated by Congress. The executive branch is not supposed to do any of those things. The Federalists who argued in support of the United States Constitution wanted to prevent tyranny. And they saw the branches of government, in order to be checks and balances, not to have a consolidated power, not to have tyrannical power in government. The judiciary, the judicial branch, is designed to evaluate the laws passed by Congress to make sure that they adhere to the Constitution. The judicial branch was viewed both by Montesquieu, a French political theorist who greatly influenced the Federalists, and the Federalists themselves saw the judiciary as the weakest branch. They were worried that the judicial branch could be ignored. They didn't have the power of force that the executive branch had, because the executive branch is equipped to faithfully enact the laws. So you've got to have some force to make sure that the laws are followed. Not force to create your own laws, not force to govern by yourself, not force to consolidate all the power to you, but to be an aid to the judiciary to ensure that laws that pass by the legislature, that are reviewed by the judicial branch to ensure constitutionality, that the executive branch then, should the judicial branch find a law to be unconstitutional, then the executive branch adheres to that finding by the judiciary. That's judicial review. That's written into the Constitution, and it is backed up in a Supreme Court case in 1803, Marbury v. Madison, where we have legal precedent for judicial review, that both the legislature and the executive branch are to adhere to the findings of the judicial branch. There are three separate co-equal, the Federalists call them departments, but branches of government. That is being violated right now. That absolutely, the branches of government are being violated through these executive orders, through whatever Elon Musk is supposed to be doing. To shut down agencies, that is not their role. That's not the role of the president. That's not the role of a special government employee. Only the legislative branch, only Congress can set up agencies, can budget and appropriate dollars, and can dismantle agencies only through the legislative branch. Article 1 of the United States Constitution. We are at a moment in America right now, 2025, March of 2025. Every single American, each American needs to answer for themselves right now, today, in this moment. Think about it right when you scroll away from this video. Are you committed to the United States Constitution? Are you committed to reigning in tyrannical government? Are you committed to the rule of law? Are you committed to having the legislative branch actually create laws and govern as designed by the Federalists and the United States Constitution? This is not bias. This is not opinion. This is the historical matters of fact. I've been encouraging people to read these documents, and I've been leading a group reading of this on my newsletter. I want Americans to understand that what the Trump administration is doing is a violation of several constitutional measures. What the Trump administration is doing is what the Federalists who wrote the Constitution and argued in support of them, what they feared. They feared consolidation of power. They feared a tyrannical government. They feared a president who would make laws and ignore Congress. They feared a president who would ignore judicial review, who would not adhere to the rulings of the court. That is historical fact, clear as day. There are 85 Federalist Papers. You could read the entire U.S. Constitution. You could read all 85 of those papers. Their authors are Alexander Hamilton, John Jay, Hamilton J. and Madison, James Madison. Written 85 papers between 1787 and 1788. They had debates against the anti-Federalists who saw all power should reside only in the states. These were the states' rights people of the 1780s. All of this is available to you and for free. These are the founding documents of America. Project Gutenberg online has all of this published for free. There's no excuse not to know these things. You can read the Declaration of Independence. You can read the U.S. Constitution. You can read the Bill of Rights. You can read the Federalist Papers for free on the internet. I've been studying them closely. I want your trust. I am a reliable witness. I am educated. I'm well-read. I study and write and digest and speak about these issues. I am inviting your trust. I am not against Trump. I'm against him because of all the reasons that he's a sexual abuser and a liar and a blowhard and has been found guilty of fraud. I'm against the character of the man. I'm clearly against the man. But more importantly than that, he is abusing the office. He is acting in unconstitutional ways. He is diverting from the way that our democratic republic was designed. We are working toward a more perfect union. So you need to decide for yourself today. Are you on the side of the United States Constitution, or are you okay with seeing the Constitution trampled on and somebody consolidate tyrannical power, to abuse their power, to have government overreach, to ignore Congress, to ignore the courts? You need to decide that for yourself. Are you somebody who wants an Orban-style government? Are you somebody that wants an Erdogan-style government? Or are you somebody who wants a democratic republic as designed in the Constitution and the Federalist Papers? That is a sincere, honest invitation for every single citizen, every single American. Whose side are you on? Are you on the side of the Constitution, or are you on the side of tyrannical government? That is a live question before you today. If you do not understand the weight of that question, then I would invite your critical examination of both your sources of information and your own internal biases. We are at a point in America that the historians will be writing about. The historians, without a doubt, will be examining this period in American history right now. And each American should decide for themselves, whose side are you on? As for me and my house, we're on the side of the United States Constitution.